And good afternoon, WICR. Welcome back to another episode of Roommate Rivalry. Today, there are a lot of topics to talk about. We're going to be kind of giving ourselves a timer here so we can get it all in. A lot of discussions. And we're going to start it off what might be the biggest event in all of sports this upcoming week. And that is the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. The fight is finally happening. It is this Saturday, May 2nd, the big one. Let's just quickly go around the table here and give our predictions for the big fight. Pete, we'll start with you.
Pacquiao.
Any reasoning?
Ant likes Mayweather.
And that's what's most important to you?
Yes. I just got to repay the favor, you know? You know, last year's Stanley Cup, he won the Kings win just because I was a Ranger fan.
I could see it.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I could see where you're coming from there. All right. Joe.
I want Pacquiao, but Mayweather's gonna win.
And just maybe a little reasoning as of why.
I said after Mayweather fought Canelo Alvarez that if he beat Canelo Alvarez that he was the best, and he beat Canelo Alvarez, so I don't think he's gonna lose at all to anyone.
And I mean, we know, but just a brief why.
A brief why? I mean, he's the best defensive boxer ever, possibly the best boxer ever. I mean, that's debatable, but it's just because I know Pacquiao's not going to hit 30% of his punches, and I don't think anyone getting knocked out. I think he'll just win the unanimous decision.
And I'm also going Mayweather. The biggest reason is I really do feel like Pacquiao is kind of more out of his prime, and I know that you mentioned they're both around the same age.
Mayweather's older than him.
When we spoke this, and I understand that, but I just think that
Mayweather's still
if they could have fought when Pacquiao was at his peak, and when Mayweather hasn't really left his peak, but if they fought at that time, it would have been a little more intriguing, a little more question marks. But for me, clear cut, Floyd Money Mayweather comes away with another victory under his belt. Any other comments that anyone wants to make on the fight itself?
I got one. It's for Petey. You know how you root for...
Like I know stuff about boxing, but
it's trust me, you'll be able to answer it. You know how you root for like America, like in wars and politics and sports, like Olympics, like World Cup and everything? USA all the way?
yeah, I guess you say that.
Why aren't you rooting for the American on Saturday?
Underdog.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I
you
think...
are Mr. America in our room.
Floyd's Mr. America? No.
No, but he's the American.
Yeah, but it's not like that country versus country match. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's no hype around like that. Like the Olympics. Country versus country, something like that. There's not that kind of hype. It's just Mayweather Pacquiao. Two great fighters going at it. It's not that type of atmosphere. You know what I'm trying to say? But I like the underdog, and I think Pacquiao is the underdog.
So when Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez, that was USA ver's Mexico.
Bro, I didn't even know they fought until about Joe. Joe brought it up. I don't even know who Canelo Alvarez is.
It's like 22.
Drop your pen. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I couldn't
He's all
swing.
out of place.
Couldn't swing. He was bumping in.
Okay. Now within our intro to today's show,
Is that a good enough answer?
No.
we also want to recap the Subway Series. This weekend, Mets-Yankees faced off. The hottest team in baseball coming into it was the Mets. Arguably, the second hottest team coming into it was the Yankees, coming off a 3 out of 4 series victory over the Tigers. They've been hitting the ball really well, and that led to them beating the Mets in the series 2-3, already being the sole victory for the Mets. Let's run around the table. Let's go opposite, and let's start with Ant. Just a takeaway from this series. What did you think? What did you see? What did you like? What did you dislike? Something like that.
I really liked our bullpen. We really showed that we are one of the best bullpens, if not the best bullpen in the MLB.
Thank you.
And I really liked how not all of our runs were just from home runs, but I don't really care how we get runs, but it showed that we're more diverse, and if we're healthy, that we could anything's possible. Sky's the limit for this team.
What's the matter?
I don't know. He just kicked me. I was wondering what he was doing.
Stop picking on him.
What?
Just go. I don't want to have to play principal here.
Okay. I like Mark Teixeira.
What about him?
He's a beast. Greatest swing in the league.
No, don't.
Thank you. 3 home runs. Two against.
It's not even top 10.
Two against your boy, right?
What? Nice.
DeGrom.
DeGrom. I didn't watch the game.
No. Oh, you didn't watch the game?
Oh.
I thought you were a Met fan.
It's probably something to.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright,
we had something to do.
We just get over this.
Instead of
The Mets won the
You had
series.
something
We would not
to
be
do.
doing this right
You
now.
had something
If
to
the
do.
Mets won the series, we'd not be doing the recap.
He had
Yes, we
something to
would.
do. We would be doing this.
We most certainly.
Wait,
do
when
a
they play?
recap.
Oh my gosh.
When was
What do you mean when they-
when did DeGrom pitch?
Saturday.
Friday.
You know when.
Friday.
You know when.
Friday was the ground.
Oh, it's
Friday.
already-
I was at the Ranger game.
See, Met fans are slowly falling back
What
into
do
the
you do,
cave.
bro? I was at the Ranger game watching my Rangers. Thank you.
What's that? We're not talking about the Rangers.
But I'm talking about that. I had something to do.
Shout out
when-
the Mets.
when
After
when the Met
every
game was
show,
on.
and now he doesn't want to watch the Mets. Suppose they have the best year too this year, and he's not watching the Mets. Come on, that's ridiculous.
What's ridiculous? I was at the Ranger game.
That's ridiculous. The DeGrom game?
Yes.
He was.
I was at the. I was literally watching Hagelin score an old-time goal.
Yesterday?
I was doing work and I watched some of the game with you.
No. You're watching a movie in your room.
Let's
Met fans falling back in the cave.
thoughts from the series.
Harvey's a stud. You know, he's coming along even with that ankle sprain. He's still able to pitch well. You know, I like what I see out of him. You know, DeGrom obviously he did have a bad outing, but you know, he pitchers they're gonna have those obviously. But you know, it was fun to watch. Like you know, the rivalry I guess you could be restored again.
Thought you
You
didn't
know,
watch it.
it was fun to watch, and let's go Mets.
Didn't watch it.
I think I'm gonna try and give maybe a little more middle opinion on both sides. For the Mets, I think it was awesome to see Matt Harvey be what he's supposed to be. Clutch, wants the ball in the big situation, go out there, pitch like a stud. Could have probably got the complete game, but with a pair of base runners on, Collins did the right thing by taking him out. And he looked really sharp in that performance. And Familia's been awesome, leads the MLB in saves, so I think that's nice with Mejia's
Absence.
situation. Familia steps up big time in that role.
Yeah.
But on the bad side of things, the Mets, and especially in that last game, kind of looked like the old Mets. Multiple errors,
A lot of
base
brain
running
farts.
mistakes, things that make you one of the worst teams in baseball. That's what the Mets looked like. And it's not what we've come to expect from the Mets this early going. And I think that you shouldn't expect that, to continue. But if it does, the Mets are going to find themselves way back down to earth pretty quickly if that's how they're going to play. On the Yankees side of things, they played back-to-back series probably against the two best teams in baseball and won 5 of 7. If you ask me, that's pretty freaking good. The bats are doing well. You can't just accredit it to the small ballpark because they were hitting it out of Comerica, so they're doing well. The pitching is up to bar. CC Sabathia seems like he's going to be pretty much chalking up the L column just about every outing. But the bats are doing good, and the pitching's doing good enough. And I think it'll be interesting to see. The Yankees have another homestand coming up against Tampa Bay, and I think that'll be really big to see how well they can go, because Tampa started off pretty hot unexpectedly. I think this is going to be an important series for this early going for confidence for the Yankees. That way they can finish out and have a strong April leading into the the rest of this season.
Yeah, Tampa Bay got that stud pitcher, Chris
Archer hasn't given up a run in his last 4 outings.
Just picked him up in fantasy, actually.
It's a great decision. For the fact that he was available says a lot about the league you play in. And I think that
hopefully it'll be a good replacement for Wainwright.
yeah, that was pretty upsetting. I just snagged myself Anibal Sanchez. Don't know what he was doing free.
Just more about the league we play in.
Actually, that wasn't even the league we play in. That was the league where people actually care.
Wow.
I don't know what they were doing. I just messed around, grabbed myself a little Anibal.
I can tell you what they weren't doing.
Thinking.
Picking up Sanchez.
They weren't thinking. Let me tell you that much. Yeah, in that other league though, you pretty much I wouldn't be surprised to see Mike Trout on the free agency wire pretty soon. We're going to take a very, very brief break. When we come back, we're going to be talking NHL playoffs. Things have been pretty exciting thus far. A lot of good series. Rangers are awaiting the winner of tonight's game. Islanders Capitals will be round 2. Stay with us right here on Roommate Rivalry.